Pyramid in Georgia, a cult from the stars. Deep in rural Georgia, once stood a glowing golden pyramid. Egyptian statues and black-robed sentinels. But this wasn't a museum or a theme park. It was the headquarters of an American cult that claimed to have roots in ancient Egypt and outer space. Its leader, a man who called himself Dr. Malachi Z. York, but would go on to become one of America's most infamous convicted child predators. This is the story of the Nubian Nation, a cult that began as a street movement and morphed into a science fiction theocracy, drenched in Egyptian aesthetics, racial nationalism, and cosmic conspiracy. Born in 1945 in Brooklyn, New York, Dwight D. York was the product of a post-war Black America searching for identity. As a young man, York claimed descent from Sudanese royalty. He studied music, psychology, and the teachings of the Nation of Islam. In the 1970s, he emerged as a street preacher in Brooklyn. He founded the Ansaru Allah community. Preaching a mix of Sunni Islam, 5%er rhetoric, and Pan-Africanism. But York wasn't just a preacher. He was a shapeshifter, and this became one of the greatest powers and his most dangerous trait. York changed ideologies like costumes. By the 1980s, he had abandoned Islam and adopted ancient Egyptian mythology. The Ansaru Allah became the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, and then the United Nubian Nation of Moors. Soon, York claimed he was the incarnation of Yanun, an alien being from the planet Rizq. His teachings grew stranger. Reptilian shapeshifters controlled the world. White people were genetically engineered. And the earth was on the verge of destruction. His followers, they accepted it all. In 1993, York purchased 476 acres in Georgia and built Tamaray, a massive Egyptian-themed compound with a golden pyramid, the Sphinx, and also temples. The town was baffled. Who were these people? Why were they building a mini Kemet in the deep south of Eaton, Georgia? York said the site would be a cultural center, but locals suspected something darker. Life inside the Tamaray was strictly controlled. Followers lived communally wore identical robes and followed York's dietary laws, obeying his teachings, often without any question. York positioned himself as a living deity. The children referred to him as Pa Nabab Yanun, the father from the stars. Behind the scenes, York fathered dozens of children with female followers. Some were allegedly underage. The lines between spiritual guidance and criminal control blurred very quickly. In the late 1990s, former members began to speak out. Allegations of child sexual abuse, forced marriages, and ritual manipulation emerged. In 2002, the FBI, ATK, and local authorities raided the Tamari. The evidence included there was eyewitness testimony from many of the victims. There were dozens of children living in hidden bunkers. There were DNA tests that linked York to minors born within the compound. Soon, York was arrested and charged with over 100 counts of child molestation. In 2004, York was found guilty and sentenced to 135 years in federal prison. And the charges included were transporting minors for sex, racketeering, and the sexual exploitation of children. The compound was demolished, but the trauma endured. Many former Nubians still wrestle with their past. Some still believe York is innocent. Fringe internet groups still circulate his teachings, even today. The Nubian nation wasn't just a cult. It was a mirror to how identity, trauma, and myth can be weaponized. York knew what the people wanted: purpose, power, and cosmic meaning. And he offered it all, and then took everything. It's a chilling reminder: the most dangerous cults don't start with madness. They start with charisma, culture, and a promise of belonging. And if you found this video informative, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the darkest corners of history. And if you'd like us to cover other cults or psychological case studies, drop a comment below. Thank you for watching. Stay curious and stay grounded.